everybody, welcome to the Flower Patch. My name's Iris Smith and I'm the owner of a small business called the Flower Patch, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Right guys, just a great big thank you for all your wonderful messages. I really do appreciate it. One moment, my cat is trying to get over here. Today I've had a customer order from a little lady who wasn't shy about telling me she was 90 years old and she wants a traditional wreath doing for her husband's graveside. She doesn't want no sparkle in it, nothing, just very traditional. So she chose a few things, and I've also added the odd bit to it as well. So we are going to do it on a 12-inch grapevine wreath, and I'm not putting a hook on it because again it's just sitting in front of the gravestone. So what the lady has chosen, she'd like a bit of fern, just soft fern. She doesn't want it hard textured, so I've got out my ferns and shown her this is the soft one I've got. So we're going to place in some of our fern. This is what the lady, she didn't ask for, but I'm going to put in about 5 pieces of mountain pine just to fill it up and give it a bit more volume towards the arrangement. She did pick these cypress leaves, which are, I said to her, are quite hard, but she said if they could be placed around the back, out, you know, so they're not actually at the front. And I said, not a problem. People do know what they like. We've got our rubber textured tree pine, where I'm going to take bits off of this stem and use those in and around as well. She does actually like this. I've also got out 2 bags of conifer. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need, but we've got 2 out just to be on the safe side. She does want some ficus, and she preferred this one with having white on. I think maybe because, you know, it looks a bit like it's got snow on it. Isn't that lovely? So we're going to place some of this in as well. She did also pick the eucalyptus out, the silver dollar. We're going to place some of that in and maybe dot it around for, I've got fluff or something on it. Dot it around for a bit of filler foliage, as well. I don't know, that's got some sort of plastic on, guys. I'm going to take that one off. So I've got out my oddments that I've cut down the other day when I did an arrangement, and that's what I had left. She does want some holly. I did have several, but she did pick the variegated one. She prefers this one. So and having red berries in, so we're going to add some of that as well. Now, she didn't suggest this, should I say. I've just took it upon myself, and I've cut a piece of garland and I've sprayed it with floral spray, and I'm just going to place that in, maybe either cut pieces off and place them in and around the top of the wreath. And I've also sprayed this morning, so I've got a bit of paint on my hands, floral spray, some more pine needles, but they're all on single stems, and I can dot those in and around the arrangement as well. And she does want pine cones. She prefers pine cones to the lotus heads, but everybody to their own. I like both. I do prefer the lotus head, but that's my preference. So I do like to, please my customers. So we have chose some of those. And she just wants plain red poinsettias. Not too big, just 5 she wants dotting around. Well, I suggested 5 because she wasn't quite sure. but nothing on them, just plain velvet and small. And she did want some berries as well. Well, I've chose these cluster berries as well as the berries, and I said I may cut them up or dot them around. We'll see as we go along, but I will add these in for her. So that is what we've got today. It doesn't seem a lot, guys, but it will look very full. So I'm sure my customer will be very happy. I was going to just do it off camera, but I thought, no, let's, excuse me, show you all what a customer has asked for in traditional wreath. Now I'm going to start off doing it on the bench. Now I may end up standing up, or I may end up having to alter the camera, but I'm not going to do it on the easel because it's not got a hook on it. So we're going to do it on my workbench, and I'm getting a bit hot, so that's unusual. So let me just alter the camera, guys, and we'll just start to do our arrangement for the lovely lady. Oh, she was so sweet. So let's bring the camera right down. I have trouble bringing it right down because it pops back up on its own. There we go. So this is our 12-inch grapevine wreath. She doesn't want a big wreath. So before we start, I'm considering attaching this. I haven't measured it, so if it goes around in the center, it will sit like that. So I think I'll probably just snip bits off. So let's have a look where we can snip. We'll snip here for one. And these can go in and around. That's a bit too long, that stem. So we're just gonna keep looking for a gap where it's going to be long enough for a stem. So as you can see, there's only a small stem here between these two, so we don't want that. So we'd have to maybe push that one down with that just to give us a slightly longer stem, or go further up and keep looking. But the more you go up to like where that is, you're gonna get bigger bunches. So I want to keep them relatively around the same, so I will cut it as tight as possible. And they don't always have to be around the same thickness as each other. So we've got 5. Let me just take that top piece off, what came off the garland. So we've got our 5. So one, you know, the odd one is longer, but that will spread further, and we will do it like that. So I'm going to just, let me pull my sleeves up, dip these in the glue, or use your glue gun, Marley, now. And we're going to go on top. I usually start around the edge, but we're just going to go on top so they can lean there. One moment, guys, it's trying to go to sleep on my coat. I'll make it easier for you. I'll hang it up so you can't go on it. He's been a nuisance. So that is our first one. Now the longer one here, again, it doesn't matter if they're different sizes, but instead of bringing that close by here, I will bring it further down to where this one joins in with those. So we want to place it in around there. Stay there. So we'll get some glue on it. So we're going to go near the side again. Let me just see. Yeah. We're going to do the same with these. Just push it down and push it across. I will treat this once it's finished because it is going outside. So we don't want it to get too wet or anything, but it will be treated. First I spray it with a bacterial spray, and then I will spray it once that's dry with some weather protector, and then after that I will spray it. I let that dry, spray it again, and then let it dry again, and then that should be enough. So that's what we've got so far. So that is around our centerpiece. We will do the ferns. I feel that I'd like to place the ferns, because they are soft, a bit more up at the top because they are slim. So if that's the case, we could place in our ficus instead. So I've just chopped bits of ficus, some longer than the others. But she doesn't want it too big, so I'm not going to over, you know, when I say big, meaning big in size, not volume. So we'll get the ficus at the back, because I feel that the ficus can protect or support things. So I'm going to place these round about here and just push it in. Let me do it this way. So she doesn't want it too far out. And we're going all the way around. You don't have to use ficus, you can use ruscus, you can use any different types of foliage. You can use just eucalyptus, willow, trying to think what else, elm leaf. You can use anything like that, guys. And just place it in so it's nice and secure. I'm keeping the stem slightly longer, so I've got more room to push it in the stem. So I know then, especially as well as the glue, it will be secure because it's the stem is longer and it's spread further into the wreath. Let's just move things out of the way. So again, just push it in as far as you know would like it to be for your design. And I've already manipulated majority, well, I think most of the stems. Yes, it looks like I have. So just give your stems a little bit of movement. Just cut that stem a little bit down. You can hear a noise in the background. My cat is going now in my bag. I will also get either steam it, you know, to get rid of any excess glue strings that I may have missed as well before I bag, you know, I wrap it up. Let's cut this one a little bit shorter. It's got plastic on it, so let's take that off. Go. Just a few more. For any glue, I tend to just grab it if it seeps out, in case I wish to place something in that area. I know then it won't prevent me with it being a lot of gluing. Just now, just the odd little piece under here, and then I've used all of my ficus. Got three little bits I'll place in as well. And place those in around here. fill it up a little bit. Get that glue string. The more you can get the glue strings before you blow it, either blow it with a hairdryer or anything like that, the better. So that is our ficus now placed in. So for a 12-inch wreath, it does really come out quite big. Right, with the cypress leaves, as you can see, they're very flat, and when you turn them on the sides, they're very flat. I'm not a fan of that. Some people are, I'm not. So I like to bend the stem, so to your left at the bottom and to the right at the top, so it's got like a small S type of a S shape, and then I stroke them down. I give them that to make them open so they've got movement instead of, as we say, let me just get another one out, looking flat from the sides as well, like that, if you can see. So I'm going to incorporate these because the lady did want, like, you know, the harder leaves at the back. So I'm going to incorporate these at the back with the ficus so they blend in together. And if you want, just give them a little bit of a bend upwards to add that slightly round circular shape, what looks like it's going over. Let's get a few out. I'll cut those down. And I'm putting them about every 6 inch apart from each other as well. You can put them closer if you wish. I tend to, not always. Sometimes I do them closer. Sometimes I just leave them quite around 6 inch apart. Because I like them to have their own spacing. And again, we're going to just go all the way. If you don't want to go all the way, you just want to put less in, you could also just do that and not put as many in. Again, with the little lady, she's wanting it nice and full, but not overly big in size. I asked her if she did want a smaller wreath. She said no. She's seen my work and she knows. She's a customer that I had last year as well. So she knows my work. Bring that one down a little. not far from the end. And by, you know, mingling your, or weaving some of your foliage within it, that gives as well. If you just place the odd leaf on top of it from the ficus, you know, that gives a natural look that it's all entwining with each other. It's like the leaves are growing with it. Take the rubber band off. And this is what we're doing by doing the edge as well. We are creating our border, our perimeter, and we want to stay within that. We don't want to go any further out, because as soon as you start, once you've created this and you start going further out, then you're going to have to bring more foliage out to meet up with things that are further, you know, as it goes further outwards. Otherwise it would look quite odd. Right, so that's the ones, the cypress leaves placed in. Now, before I put the other fern in, I have the conifer. Open the other bag. I have used a lot of this year through customer's choice as well. I'm going to cut the other one up because I know we're going to need it. So, just the centre stem on here, that's got wire in. These haven't got any wire in at all. So I just tend to move that slightly upwards so it's above the ones at the bottom to give that movement. And again, we're just going to go now above the ficus with these, but lean them outwards as well. Have the two of them sort of a flattish movement, and the other one slightly higher, if I can. That'll not go anywhere. See, that's one that's done it. So that's how I want this one to sit. If it doesn't, I'll pull it out. No, let's pull it out and reposition it. I'll cut the stem slightly a little bit shorter. That may help. Go. As you can see, I've left them sticking up again for that movement. And then I think one more. So I'm just thinking if I could get another one. I've got one left. If I could get another one in. Some ways telling me around here. I think we get that one in there. We may as well just place it in. Like so. So that's what we've got now with our conifer. So now again we're going to add in some fern on top. So I'm going to cut these stems. Now these stems are extremely thin. So I'll have to try and place a bit of glue on them. And now I'm going to come around this area on the top. Let me just sort that one out in a minute, guys. No, it's not going in as well. So I'm going to pull a few leaves off at the bottom to give me a little bit of a stem. Because the stem does go slightly wider at the top. And I'm going to bring and incorporate that as well. So I'm just pulling them off because they are rubber. I'm cutting where the stems just starts to get thicker, and take the thinner piece off. And this is building up our foliage. If you've got oddments of fern and they're all different sizes, you can play, you know, you can place them in. You don't have to have them all the same size because it adds to the not the texture, to the contrast of others, and you know, the shape and size of others as well. Makes it more unique, that everything's not the same. I'm going to go in between here. Again, bring it in between your pine needles. That gives it more of a natural look as well. That it's growing in between. I don't know if you can see now, guys, with my cat. It shouldn't even be here when I'm doing a customer order. Not on the bench. I don't allow it. Go on. I don't allow him on the bench when I'm doing customer orders. It's a big no-no. I get a bit like a sergeant major with him when it comes to that. Get down. I'll be doing this for a while until I lock him out. So that's those placed around there. I think I could do with one more there actually. If he jumps up again, guys, I'm going to have to lock him out. It's not that I'm being cruel, it's a customer's order. I don't want him touching it, biting it. So I'm going to place one in between here as well. Do I need another one? Oh, I've got one there. So that is with our fern now on, as well as our cypress leaf, ficus and conifer. In fact, let me shut that door, guys. He's gone out, so I'm shutting the door. That's that. So he can't come in. Right, I've got also now bits of eucalyptus I also want to get in. But I'm not going to place in lots around where we've just placed all of this. Because with them being a bit bigger leaves, let me place them over here. I don't want them covering what we've done, so I may have to chop some pieces up. Because if I place those there, as you can see, they're starting to cover things. So I'm going to have to place them in between. So let's just, because I don't want, I may have to place in just one one leaf in at a time. So I'm going to be placing this. I'm not very good. Oh, my arm. I've got a bad arm, guys. I pulled a muscle. But I'm all right. And again, just bring that in with other things. Take a couple of the leaves down to the bottom if you can. And as you can see, we're just placing them around. And if you can look for spaces where you think it may, like here, need to go, because there's not much other foliage there, without it being too much, then place it in. And again, I'm just going all the way around. I'll bring that one in there. Right, that's got two on. I can't use the top one. Let's go in between here. Again, place some of it with our cypress, not cypress, our pine needle. I nearly got it wrong. Well, I did get it wrong. Never mind. So again, there's a big gap here, so let's get this in. I can. There we go. Wipe that glue. Again, lift some up. Your other foliage. And then I think one more piece here. Round here. So like that. So that's all I'm going to put in at the moment of the eucalyptus. I will keep that out. Let me just place a band on. pull some of these off. 1, 2, 3. I think you get about 7, 4, yeah, 5, 6, 7 on a big stem. Let's have a look. I may bring these slightly under as well. In fact, let's just leave those out for now because they may be too much. Before we carry on, I want to place in our poinsettias. We've got other foliage and that, but I need to place the poinsettias in. So I'm going to be placing, as you can see, one here. Let's take the band off of these as well. I'm just going to place them in. The stems need cutting. Yeah. Let me cut that stem. One here. And then one around here, and then also the last one around there. So you've got it like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4, let's have a look, 4 o'clock, let me straighten that up, 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So that's how they position if you're doing a 5. Think of it as a clock, you know, or a watch that you've got on, and you go 12, 2, 4, 8 and 10. You don't place another one there because then that'll be 6. So I work in odd numbers, not even. And I find that it looks more pleasing to the eye when you do it in odd. But again, that's my own personal opinion and how I've always been taught. So I want to get these in as well, and I'm not placing them flat. I want them to sit like so. So just place them before you put them in, just to see if this, you know, they're in the right position, because you don't want to place them in and then realize you've placed one in the wrong position. So once I place it in and push it in as far as I want it, then I bend it upwards, the head of the flower. So then you go opposite this one to here. And then bend it upwards. And you do the same with this one. Opposite that one here. So that will help you even more if you've already placed them and they're still sat above. By looking and thinking, right, that one needs to be opposite that one. So that will give you another helping hand as well. Oops. If you can hear my cat, guys, he's at the door. He's wanting to come in. I can't let him in. I really don't want him in when I do customers' orders. As I said, it's not that I'm cruel. I don't want him playing with any of the stuff or anything like that, or ruining any of the customers' stuff by thinking you know, it's a game, because that's what he'll do. So this one will go opposite there. We'll leave that there. So that is, when you look at it, is like so. Doesn't that look pretty? Nice and bright. I think in between each one I'm going to place a holly, I think. Well, before I do that, I want to place in, I've got 5, so I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to place in between to give it a bit more, you know, volume and chunkiness again. But I don't want it looking too out of place, because we are going to be placing in, if I can get one, things like that as well on single picks. So will they want to go further out? They may need to go further out, but in between each of the flower. I think they're too big to go in the centre. So let's place those like so, and give them, and you can bend them as well, so it'd be on the outside instead of sat in the centre here, because we can put other bits of foliage back in. So you can again bring some foliage up to meet up with it. There's a big gap here, so we really do want that filling. So I'm going to bring, I can get it in. Just make sure it goes in and a little bit further down. And then our last one here. Just cut that bit off. So now we've got our mountain pine in, and again that's even added a little bit more fullness to the wreath as well. So, and with our pine cones, I want those on top also. I do want filler foliage around here, so I may get, let me go and grab some ivy. So we'll grab some of that. I don't think this is needed, if I'm being, the lady did suggest it, so we're going to put it in, but we're only going to put like 5 pieces in. You know, again, it's customer's request. The only time I don't put it in is if I think it doesn't go, then I will inform the customer of that and let them know. But it does go with the theme. So everywhere that you see a poinsettia, that's where I'm going to place one. Guys, let me just put the cat in the house. He's meowing. He's meowing at the door. Sorry, guys. I've put my coat back on now since I've been outside. It's quite chilly. Oh. Right. I placed him in the house. I know when my husband comes home from work, he'll open the door and Molly will come running out. Alright, so everywhere where there's a poinsettia, we're going to place a tree pine. I've slightly moved the camera as well. I had a look just before I placed it on. So that's 2. And 3. 4. My husband will be home in about anything from now to the next half an hour. So let's place that one's there. So just going in here. So this is how I tend to do my just traditional basic traditional wreath. Some do them slightly different. You know, everybody's got their own mind to how they think of the basic wreath or traditional wreath looks. I think it doesn't matter, they're all beautiful, I think. And one more. You see there's a gap there that's going to irritate me, but I think by placing in the other elements we've got, that will start to cover. I think some of the foliage need lifting as well. So that's those tree pine in now as well. So we are looking at it now like that. Doesn't that look already nice and full? So I'm going to place in the holly and berry, and they're going to sit in between as well. Not exactly on the same level. I don't want to create a circle. What I want to do is create like a zigzag. So these will sit about here. So you're creating that in, out, in, out, in, and so on all the way round. So I'm creating that zigzag. So let's just get 5. I will place some maybe on the outer side, 3, 4, 5. I did get 10 out, I think, to be on the safe side. Let's slightly cut them all around the same length or similar. Around here. So again, we're just coming out, not too far out. I don't want it to be a big, you know, zigzag. And plus, if you think about it as well, we are also creating that triangle. So just slightly bring them out, so then you're not, unless you want to create that circle theme, then that's, you know, there's nothing wrong in that. I tend to like to bring them out, so it's creating more of a zigzag. Let's move that mountain pine. And then one more. So that's where we've got our holly. That one down there seems to be a little bit too bent over, so let's just bring that one back in slightly. And as you can see, there's still a few gaps here. So we've got that in. Now with these berries, oh gosh, they are hard. Cluster berries, don't know what that is. They do look nice there, but I don't know whether to strip the cluster off. Oh yeah, I'm going to strip the clusters off because they are on paperback, and I'm going to save those because I have got 2 traditional ones to do. So I will just use these again. These are on paperback, and I don't. If you're on this one, you take the paperback off, and they're just on a wire. I don't like to see the paper peeling off for the customer, and plus when it gets wet, if there's rain, we're right at wire. We don't need paper now. It will get the paper wet and it will start peeling. And I'm not one for that. So I'd rather take it off. Now I'm placing, now let's see. I'll place them above the poinsettias on the outside. If I can get that off my fingers. Let's put a little bit more glue on it. So we'll go above the poinsettias, or just around there. Go, and just have those sitting going outwards. So again, let's take the cluster off. And take all the paper off. So just by placing these berries as well where the poinsettias are, you are balancing out as well. Balancing your arrangement out. You know, it's odd numbers, and again, because you're not going beyond there, because they've got berries on, and with the then take into consideration the berries. Now you're going out, in, out. So you're doing the same thing, but with the berries on the outside. Oh my God gracious me, it hurts my arm. Let's cut that bit off. I don't want the stem that long. Just get right back to the wire. There we go. And I'm still staying within my boundary as well. If you've noticed, I've not gone further out. Oh, goodness gracious me, guys. I've stayed within. Let's put this stem. So if you keep within, if you've got a few wispy bits, you know, the and airy bits, you know, and they slightly go above your boundary, that's okay, because you don't tend to notice those because you can see through them. You know, it's something like you'd notice these berries and you wouldn't want them sitting higher than all your foliage further out. So you wouldn't want it if you had it sticking out like that, and then there's nothing around it. You need to keep them within now your boundary that you've created. The lady doesn't want a bow either. I don't, unless it's, you know, specified by the customer, I don't tend to, you know, encourage them to have bows if it's at a graveside, unless again the customer requests it. So the cemetery where this is going, and I know where it is because it's locally, they will sit there all year round, and the bow may start going, and if not treated, mouldy, you know, discolouring. And every time the lady goes up to the cemetery to visit her loved one, it's going to look a bit, well, not so good anymore. But again, it's customer choice, and I always go by what they wish. Right, so now we've got the berries in on the outer side. So I'm wanting to bring in pine cones. I think they would look right nice around the centre, but I do like to see them on the side as well. Let's get some of this pine in. I'm going to dot this around, especially where there's, I know I've got the odd one in here what's got a little, just two on. So where I can see gaps here, I'm going to place that there, and I'm going to fill it in. Oops, didn't cut that very diagonally, it's 45 degree. So I'm going to now fill this area in, because we don't want it looking bare. And I've got a few like these. I can see one under that poinsettia there. As I move it around, let's have a look. There's one here, if you can see, a bit bare here, so it's needed something there as well. Make that go inwards. There we go. Then slide that. I could do with another one there. Here's a single one. Let's get that in. Again, and any little oddments like these, guys, that you've got hanging around, even if it's just the odd one, don't be frightened to place it in. And I'm just bringing it, you know, making it look a bit more chunky, or where you can actually see. I can see that that's bothering me there. That's got quite a bit. I don't want to fill it because I want some ivy in here. I've just placed that, but something's telling me around there. So we'll place one more in there. Just to fill that area. So let me get the ivy in around there, and then if we decide to place anything else in, then we can. Now I don't want to place too big leaves. I'm going to place in the variegated ivy. I'll place that one. See, the leaves are quite big, but that adds to it, I think. Let's just grab a few out. There is different types in here, guys. I just bundled my oddments together. So, there's one. Oh, just pulled it off. I just pulled it off. Here we go. So let's just glue that back on. I can get that in. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to add the variegated, because if you look, because it's just a lot of snowy pine, I think by just adding that to it adds a lovely texture to it. So we're going to do that. And even though they are bigger leaves, that's okay. Again, it's going to add to it. So if we lift up this on my arm, I don't usually moan about it, but then we can bring that down there, and that is incorporated into it and gives it a different contrast. Again, I'm all about contrast. My husband's home, so the cat's going to come. And I'm not, you know, saying place a ring of them. What I'm going to do again is where around this, where I think it's needed, probably about 5 pieces I'm going to place in, because they are quite wide. Oh. Let's get the glue. Then we could place other pieces in other areas. Again, that is extra large, that one. I'm going to cut the stem shorter. I don't need the stem that long. I'm going to do that with this one. I think this one's slightly long. I'm going to shorten the stem on this. I wonder if I could swap it for another. Take one leaf off and add another one. Add a smaller one with it. So let's get that. That's better. Now I definitely want things here. So I've got that. I could take that one off. Yeah. Just trying to get it through. Finding that one quite hard to get through. There we go. And I've chose that leaf because then that can spread like that. If you wish, you can bring it in there like that, but because I need it to spread, I'm going to place it like that. I think I want one more. One is just there. And I need that. So that's that. We've obviously got other things to place in just to hide those areas. Move. So now we're going to place in, oops, I've got 5. So I think because there's some gaps here, so in between each of our poinsettia, something's needed here. And I'll see how far I want them out. I may have one out, one in, one out, one in, one out. How did we start? One out, one in, one out, one in, one out. Right, I can't do that because then it ends up with 2 out at the end. If I had 6, then it would work. So let's cut. Right, let me just open the door for my husband. What, are they just turned up? Oh right, sometimes they just leave them there anyway. Eh? Yeah, yeah. Right, I'll come and try it. There we go, there we go. Got another cup of coffee. Right, sorry about that, guys. My husband just said I've had a parcel delivery and it's on the front. He said, did you know? No, I know I was getting something coming, but I didn't know it was here. They usually leave it, guys. You've seen me do videos and we get disturbed. So they usually knock on the shed. I've got a sign on my door. Please knock on the shed. That's just... And I'm not particularly bothered if some face in like that. That's part of the, you know, the character of them, or if that's not the right word, but part of, you know, nature. They do some, you know, face inwards, some face outwards. So I'm not checking which way to place them. I'm just placing them in where they're going to look beautiful. That's place another one. In between here, there's a big gap here where I need one. Definitely. Is that there? And our last one. Just get that one in. Like so. So there's all our pine cones now in. And I've got some of these, because we've got the frosted pine all needles around the centre, I want to incorporate some on the outer side. And that's why I've got all of these out, and that's all we need to do to it. And then that is my traditional wreath for my customer. So let's get some of these in. I nearly said those. So these are going to be spread around. Again, when you put in little bits like this in, don't be frightened to just dot them around. You know, even if you've got two quite close together but one slightly higher, don't be frightened about that. Again, that adds to it. All the dust on my hands. That adds to it. Say like here, there's two here. If I place two here, one slightly higher than the other, that's fine. That gives it a lovely, you know, movement in your arrangement. If there was identical on the same height at each side, then that would be noticeable. So just, you know, offset one of them from the other, you know, and then that would look more pleasing. So I'm just going to go, and again, I'm not counting how many I'm placing in. It's just how I think that I need some, and where I like to place them. And again, I may place some further up than the others. See, I placed one there, but then that one's there quite close, but it's further out. It's a bit more offset. And just have fun with it as you go dotting them around. You'll see it come to life. I definitely want some around the bottom. Again, it's and the reason I'm placing them at the bottom is so I'm bringing, again, as I always state, what's up here, down here. Glue string. That's a long glue string. That was shimmering in the light. I can't see. There we go. That there. And then I'm going to cut one slightly smaller. It's on the stem. But then I'm going to bring it up here. I don't want it as long. And then just incorporate it up above. And try and, when you do, cut your stems at a 45-degree angle, because that makes it to go in your wreath easier. And sometimes if your wreath is quite a tough wreath and very tight, try and do it at a 22-degree angle, and that's much sharper. It's a more of a sharper angle, and that will then definitely go in. And that one down. And as you can see, I'm just going around. See, a 45-degree angle, you'd just go like that, like you would if you was dovetailing your ribbon, just going down like that, and then cut. So you have, I don't know if I've got something darker for you to see it on, that sort of an angle. But then if you do a 22, instead of just going here, you bring your pliers here, your cutters, slightly lean them more onto the stem there, and then you just grab that, and then you have, I don't know, excuse the dust on my hands, guys, more of a sharp point. So again, you lean the flat side of your pliers onto the stem, not in the stem, onto, and then just get the bottom bit here and cut that angle there by keeping that leaning on like so, and that will give you your 22-degree angle. I know this, guys, it's not that I'm, you know, I worked with my husband for 10 years and doing joinery, so I was taught a lot of how to measure, how angles and things like this. So because obviously he was building the buildings that he does for customers like the one I'm in. So yeah, so if you have a tougher one, tougher wreath, then try and do it with that, with a 22. So let's just, where did we go? Bottom here, we need one here. I spotted. And then just move it around. art on the bottom as well. Could bring one up here, so let's cut this one shorter. Bring one above where the poinsettia is. Get that glue string. Just have that there as well. We're not far now from the end. Could bring one up there. Glue string, I can see. Just move some of the foliage out of the way so I can get to the bottom. Or bring that up there. I think I want a couple more on the bottom. One, and then I think, do I bring one up there? Sorry, I'm just looking, guys, where I feel. For some reason it's telling me here. Yeah. Have it. So I've just spotted, I'm going to put a bit of ivy in. That one in as well. We may as well use the last piece on the stem. Incorporate that there. Right, so that is that, guys. We have finished, and again I've gone slower because obviously I wanted you to see how I do a basic wreath, and it's for my customer. I don't like to rush too much. I mean, I have got a speed that I do stick to. Well, not stick to, that's the wrong word. I have got built up my own speeds, or after doing it all these years. But for my videos, I do like to slow my speed down for the beginners, so you can see even the advance on what I'm doing. that is my traditional wreath for my customer. And again, I've added in the mountain pine. She didn't ask for those. So, and that is what she's placing by her husband's graveside at the cemetery. So I hope that was quite, you know, helped you to do like a traditional wreath. And, you know, and you give it a go, guys. I find them very pretty. I do like traditional wreaths as well. I like anything. But when it's, you know, a memorial thing, it's more of a sentimental thing. And I think that's why I loved doing funeral flowers. So let me just place the camera up. So I'm not talking, you're not looking at the, you know, at the floor or anything on the desk. So let's just bring it up. And I'll place it on the easel. I haven't got a hook on it, so I'm going to have to place it. Let's have a look over that without damaging anything. Let's just see where I'm going to hook it on. And there's no stems have come through either the opposite side. They're all kept within, so it's nice and neat and tidy. So let's, oops. I'm gonna have to try it like that, guys. I don't know if it's gonna sit, because I don't know if that's too high up. It looks a bit high, guys. Oh my gosh. That is high. Oh my Gideon, what was I thinking? Let's lower this. I don't want to. I don't know if you can see that. Oh my good gracious me, let me come out. I think that would be better. There we go. Let me just place those there. So that is, as I said, a traditional wreath for a customer in beautiful, just reds and greens, berries, pine needles, what I've just sprayed with floral spray. Now I will, with this, get my hygienic spray out, and it will get sprayed with bacterial spray to get off any bacteria. And also once that's dried in, I tend to leave that for about an hour, and then once that's done, then I spray it with not bacteria, antibacterial, sorry. Then I spray it with my UV protector, with it being going outside. I wait for that to dry, and then once that's dry, I give it a double coat, because it's going to be in the open, you know, there's not anything around it to stop it from getting all the, you know, the weather from all directions. So I give it a double coat when it's, especially for memorials. And then again, once that's dried, I spray it with essence oils that I have, and then I place it in, because the customer doesn't live far, I place it in a bag with a thank you sticker right in the top corner. I don't want a big sticker over the front. You know, it's this that you need to see. So just a thank you sticker for her custom. And I place it in a big wreath bag because I asked if she wanted it. I usually, when I give customers who are locally and that, I place the wreath in a wreath bag, and I place a bow on it and things like that. And they all, even if this isn't for, this is for a door. If this was for a door, then I'd place a free hanger in as well. But because it's for, you know, memorial, she'll still get it in a free wreath bag. I only place wreaths in boxes if they are being delivered afar. You know, well, I say afar if the customer asks for the delivery. If I can't get to it by car, so then it will be boxed up. But if it's local and or, you know, within a half an hour drive and I can get to it, not a problem, then I would deliver it myself for delivery. But in this case, the customer, you know, I'm delivering this for the customer, and it will go in a wreath bag. So yeah. So again, if you really enjoyed that, guys, and you want to make something, you know, a wreath instead of just a little graveside pot, you know, or spike or anything like that, and you just want to have a wreath instead, as much as the others are beautiful, then you know, and you want a traditional one, give it a go. They are beautiful things, and they're very noticeable. They do stand out, I think. But also, if you don't want it in traditional and you want your own colours, or the colours that you knew your past one loved, you know, and then give it a go in them colours. It's always fun, guys. So yeah, so please subscribe, share and like, to the world, to everybody who's around. And thank you so much for some more comments coming in last night. I really do appreciate it, guys. I didn't answer straight away because I went to my sister's and I was helping my sister put her Christmas tree up, and I came out there glittered to the eyes. It was, and her dogs were glittered. She was glittered. Sofa, her furniture was glittered. She put some mats down on the floor, guys. It didn't work because the dogs moved them out the way, and so it was everywhere. And then once we'd done, we was chatting about stuff, and something her dog did made us in hysterics. Oh my gosh, it was so funny, so funny. Took a video of it, but funny to the point where both his ribs were hurting. So, and I've still got that vision. If you're watching, sis, I've still got that vision in my mind. So that funny thing your dog did. So anyway, thank you again, guys, and again, please subscribe, share and like. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves and give it a go, because I know you can all do it, guys. I know you're wonderful. You know, keep up your good work. You know, keep practicing, especially if you're a newbie. Keep going, guys. You'll always get there, and you'll learn something new every day, and you'll love it even more. So have fun creating, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Let's just do a little close-up. So there's just the plain poinsettias. Gosh, they look quite bright. It must be my new camera, guys. I've got, it's very, you know, I don't know what the word is, but very clear. But there's a lovely velvet poinsettias. There's the mountain pine that I placed in, the conifer, the pine needles, the berries, the little rubbery fern here, the soft fern, our holly and berries, And here our rubber textured pine, tree pine, our eucalyptus, and not forgetting our ficus, guys. People look at it as a cheap material or element. Yes, it may be cheaper than the others, but oh my gosh, it does wonderful things. So, and again, a bit of ivy in the center as well. So I hope you had fun, guys, and just like me, creating something beautiful for somebody's loved one who's no longer around. What a wonderful honor to do. So take care, guys. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye for now.